Right, now I'm going to invite Zoe. Had to, sorry, I had to, switch it to this angle for some reason. I was trying to do landscape. So, this is exciting.
Hello.
Hi again. I had
Hello.
I had to make it like this way because for some reason it will not record like a different way. So I didn't want to mess
Oh,
with the video and
no,
stuff.
that's fine. This is like the first time we've seen each other, isn't
Yeah, it is
it?
really exciting. So let me tell y'all something about Zoe. Zoe has the same disability as me. I like to call it 22Q because it's just short for some reason. So we both have the same disability. We're both interested in a lot of stuff. So we have a lot in common. We both had heart issues as well as you were saying when you were younger too. I personally don't remember anything because I was like maybe a couple months old when I first had my heart surgery, so I don't really remember it. And thank God I don't remember anything. So that's all I can say because if I would have remembered how much pain it was, I think I would have been done with surgeries and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So what if there's anything you could change about yourself, like would you continue having the disability or not? Like for me personally, no.
It's a difficult one that because on one hand I would like to change it because especially with the whole situation in the world at the moment, that your health is it's quite scary. I don't think because we look okay on the outside,
Right.
people don't realize the struggles that you go through on the inside and the pain and the frustration. But on the other hand, I wouldn't change anything because it's made me a stronger person. And it's made me be more like determined and wanting to get far in life. So yeah, it's a very difficult
It
question.
that's kind of how I feel, but to me, when I was younger, I had a really hard time accepting that I had a disability because I got
So
told so many times, "Oh, I did not know you had a disability." So until I had asked the teacher, like, can you teach me differently? Because I'm not gonna understand it if you try to teach me like how you teach the other kids. So
yeah, totally agree.
and to me, I feel like I have less opportunities than most people because of my disability. So it's like it's 50-50. But my disability did get me into the industry, so that is a plus and stuff. But it's kind of a mixed feeling, like you said.
It's very confusing, yeah, because I don't know what to say. It's people just don't understand the struggles that we have to go through every single day. Like, for example, I don't mind being honest about the heart condition. I got to have an open heart surgery every 10 to 15 years. And I've already had two open heart surgeries. Obviously, I don't remember the one 18 months, but when I was 16, 7 years ago, I mean, that is very vivid. It's very clear, and I can memorize everything that happened. Obviously, apart from when I was in surgery, but yeah, I think people don't understand how tough it can be.
And it's scary too.
Scary because your health can be absolutely. I mean, luckily it's not happened to me yet, but your health can be absolutely fine 1 minute, and then all of a sudden it can deteriorate and drop, and then you're like, oh my god, what's going on? So it's very
It
hit and
it could also affect dating life because when Sean and we've been together since we were in high school, so and his mom will always say, "Well, I want you to date somebody that's a little bit more healthier or not have a disability," but then she wanted him to date someone who had Down syndrome. So I'm like, "What's the difference between me and someone who has Down syndrome?" Like that makes no sense. We both had the same health issue, but like it really made no sense to me. And then she's like, well, I just don't want you to date somebody who's sick. I'm like, so we constantly had to fight for us to be together, and it was like on and off. And then we had people who made fun of me because I got sick one year to a point where my thyroid was so bad that my hair was kind of falling out, but not really. And people were making fun of me, were like joking that I had cancer, and that's not something to ever joke about.
You know,
So
circumstances, it shouldn't be joked about. I totally agree.
to me, I feel like the health issue, the more older you get, you're like, oh crap, what if this happens to me? Or what if this happens to one of my friends? Because I had a friend who was perfectly healthy for years, and then all of a sudden, after when she gave birth, she had heart complications. And
Oh,
she was told the exact same thing, that she was perfectly healthy and stuff, and she did not know that she had heart issues. So that's why I'm kind of 50-50 on having kids and not having kids. So to me, I'm lucky because my best friend said that she would be my surrogate, so I don't have to worry about that. But at the same time, like, do I really want to risk like having one of my kids have the same disability as me? So
that's a very like sensitive topic, I think, because
it is.
people who I'm close to, who I've spoken to, they all have very different opinions. Like they're very respectful and they always listen to, because I'm one of those people that I think everything happens for a reason, and if my child was born with this condition, there's a reason for that. But then on the other hand, if their condition was worse than mine, for example, the heart, would I want to put them through that? You know, it's so difficult to sort of know what the right thing to do is.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, exactly. Like I got told by my geneticist, I think I must have about 17 years old. They said if I have a kid, it's 50-50. They'll have it or they won't.
Mhm.
That's a very scary, very scary thought.
It is very scary, and it's just like, to me, I'm not the type of person who's worried about having kids right now because, like I said before, I have godchildren, so I have like 9 of them, and if I have baby fever, like for a minute, I'll just be like, hey, can I babysit my niece, and then I can just give her right on back.
Yeah,
So, I mean, like that's the best part about being a godmom. So, and then
yeah,
the other options are always to adopt as well, but
yeah.
I have
Well,
no,
that, yeah.
yeah.
Like, before I go any further, if I offend anybody or upset anybody with any of the comments that I make, it's not my intention. It's just my own personal and Ariobella's personal experiences that we are happy to share. But yeah, I just wanted to get that disclaimer across. We're not trying to offend. It's a very, very sensitive topics. I think. Do you agree? It's
Yeah.
very. So I wanted to
Well,
get that.
that was like the number one question. What do y'all think about kids? And I'm like, why? So, I mean, like, I guess there's some people out there who feel exactly the same way we feel, and they just want to hear what we have to say to make them feel better. So, because, like, when I said that in an interview, because somebody asked me, are you planning on having kids? And I said what I said. And they're like, oh, well, that really helped me out a lot because I was, like debating whether to have kids or not. And I didn't want people to make me feel bad because I don't want to have kids.
No, exactly, and it's your body and it's your life, and you should do what you feel is comfortable for you. You're the one that's going to have to manage and deal with that situation.
Right.
So you never feel pressured into anybody to make you want kids.
I hope in the near future that they will have heart machines for women who are pregnant and who do want to give birth. I kind of hope it's that way because then it would make it less easier. And my doctor actually told me they're working on that right now. So, and I'm not planning on anything. I'm not making a decision right now because I feel like I want to focus on my career
Yeah.
honestly, and not focus so much on having kids right now than anything. And everyone was like, "Well, you don't want to have kids now." I'm like, "No, I don't." I mean, like, I just feel like I'd rather focus on my career than being a mom because I heard that's like way too much responsibility, and
No,
they are expensive.
I'm 23 and I still feel I'm not ready to have kids with a disability or no disability. I still act like an 18-year-old half the time. So
Exactly.
I want to make sure, I mean, there's nothing wrong with acting like an 18-year-old, but I want to make sure that I'm ready and my boyfriend's ready to go into that. Like, we're just sorting out the house and getting stuff ready and sorting out my career.
So, speaking of careers, you said that you wanted to be an actress as well. What made you want to be an actress?
Good question. So when I was between the ages of 9 and I would say 17, 18, and I joined a drama group in my town.
Mm-hmm.
We would put on shows 2 or 3 times a year, and you know that adrenaline rush that you get
Yes.
just before, what the same with you, just before you go on the big screen. When I'm going on my set, oh, I absolutely love that feeling. And then you get that little bit of nerve just before you go on, and then as soon as you go on, you're like, bam, and it's like it just goes in seconds. But I absolutely love it, and it's something I've always really wanted to do as a child. And I did my um, GCSE exams, and I did drama. Well, one of them was drama, and I just loved it. I loved the whole process. I loved learning about the production. I loved learning about the technical side to it. I just love it, and I think the reason I didn't do anything about it before was because I felt stuck, knowing what to do next, knowing how to sort of get yourself out there and the next stage, I guess. And I
That
understand. Pardon?
that is exactly how I felt. I felt stuck here because when you live in a small town and it's very rare once you hear somebody getting big, whether it's in sports or it's in the industry. Like we live in a really really tiny town, so everybody pretty much knows each other. And my advice, if y'all do want to get in the industry, look up Facebook groups in your area that are filming right now. Like, don't go to LA because a lot of people think, oh, I gotta go to LA because that's
Yeah.
where everything's at. No, you want to start working in local productions, even if it's free, because you don't know who is going to be there and you want to get discovered. And
And
that's
it's
exactly what I did.
not about the money to me. To me, it's about the experience, and
Right.
it's about meeting the right people and working with incredible actors. And I feel like if you're working with a good actor or actress, your acting will automatically improve in a way because you're trying to get the emotion across.
Right.
That makes sense. I mean, I guess you felt like that with who you worked with, that that kind of thing. So
And also try to sorry, I have like a cold. Also, if you are on set, try to learn how to be a PA because like I was told my whole career, you gotta learn how to be a PA. You should learn behind the scenes or helping out someone, and then you would get the full experience of being on set and then also being an extra. Because I went from having a lot of lines to be an extra the next day on a different film. And that's when I met John Travolta, which I was not expecting that at all, being an extra. And he was super kind. He said hi to everyone. And he was just very genuine. And I did not recognize him because he was in character. So, and I was like, huh, he looks familiar. And then my friend Jonathan was like, that's John Travolta. He just said hi to you.
love how casual you were. Oh, he looks familiar.
Yeah, I was like, I, I don't know who he is. And my friend got so excited. He was super happy. And we took a bunch of acting classes together when we were in high school. And so we were trying to help each other out with the industry and stuff. And then we do a bunch of projects that are in the area. We do 48 project films, and then we pretty much do what we can do. So, but everything's been on hold for right now because you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of nice taking a break, but at the same time, I really want to get back there and just.
Yeah, you've probably got the acting bug again, haven't you? Like wanting to get back into
Yeah,
it.
I mean, we made a couple of homemade movies, like staying at home and stuff like that. And also, when you do 48 project films, it helps you build up your IB credit. And I get asked this all the time: do you need an agent? I have, how can I say this? I have done work before when I didn't have an agent versus when I did have an agent, and now I don't have an agent right now. So, I mean, it's however you feel, however you want your career to be, because not a lot of people um, don't need an agent to start in the industry and stuff. And then if you do have a disability, my advice is to not always tell your friends that you have a disability because you don't want people to be like, oh, she got that role because she has a disability, and they just feel
Yeah,
sorry for you. Pretty
yeah, that
much.
that is the last thing you want people to say. Like, you want people to think you've got it because of your hard work and because you deserve the role, not because, oh, they feel sorry for you because you've got a disability. Yeah, I completely get that. I
Yeah,
completely.
and I remember when I was in class, I was like, "Hi, my name's Aribon," and the reason why I started acting because they said to be truthful, and I was like, "It's because I have a disability, and I was told I can't be so and so, I can't do this and that, but I know I can on TV." Instead, my mom went like this: "No, I told you don't tell them. Just tell your acting coach." You know, I have definitely learned not to tell people right away. I mean, most people that I've been really close with, that I have been friends with for 4 years now, they are very helpful and not judgmental. So, um, it's been really nice to have a team that has your back and looks out for you. So, it's kind of like you have like a whole different family in a way.
Yeah, I bet that is nice.
It is. And they were so interested in 22Q. They kept looking up like 22 foundations to send money to and stuff. So it was really interesting. And I
Oh,
was kind of nervous when they found out because they found out about my YouTube channel and I forgot to delete a few videos. So, and they thought it was really unique that I have a disability and that I had to say, I have to work 10 times harder to remember stuff because it's hard.
oh. So, when I was at school, every subject I did wasn't easy. It really wasn't. And every time I started a new school year and there were new teachers or teaching assistants, it's almost like I'm having to repeat. Oh, by the way, I have a mild learning disability. You have to explain things in a different way for me
Right.
to get. But once I've got it, it's stuck in. It's the same with the job. I was a care assistant. I'm being completely honest because that's exactly what this video should be, and it should make people aware of what you're going through, especially with an invisible disability, because nobody sort of gets it. So when I was working in a care assistant in my hometown, I I didn't get it straight away. It took me about a year until I really got the job, and it was so frustrating. Like, because I keep saying to them, I will get there. You just got to give me a little bit of patience and a little bit more guidance, and I will get there. And to be fair, they were really good. And in the end, they got it, and they were like, okay, I can understand that. But at the beginning, any time you start a new job, it's so frustrating. Just having to explain, like, I wish I could just walk into a job, not tell them anything about me, just get on with it, and just do your job and go home. But if it was something physical like doing care or anything like that, you've got to be so careful about your heart as well. And you've got to you've got to tell them about it in case anything happens to you on shift. Hopefully, luckily nothing has to me, but you never know what could happen in the future, and you just got to tell them just a bit, and that's the bit I find the most frustrating, because from the get-go they've got a bad preconception of you sometimes, and I'm like, no, I am good at my job. You just got to just be a bit more aware. Do you find that?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing with me. When I was working, they were trying to help me find a job, and they wanted me to work at a caring place where I have to take care of a bunch of old people. Caregiver. I said caring place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always say things really funny for some reason, but my mom had threatened and be like, no, she cannot physically pick up someone twice her size, and let alone being there alone to physically do some stuff. That she can feed them, she can play games with them, she can make a few phone calls with them, but physically picking them up, no. Because like what people don't understand, like even though you are in the industry and this is just reality of it, you're going to have a side job.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah, and they kept giving me a hard time about it. And I had to take off one time from my movie premiere because it was only in selected theaters. And not only do you have a disability, but you're in the industry as well, a lot of people are going to give you hard times about it. And unfortunately, it's just how it is. And they were telling me, no, you can't take off that day or for a whole week without work. And my mom's like, no, this is a one life opportunity for her. She's going to that red carpet and she's going to that movie theater. So, and I was very grateful that she did that because it has always been my dream to see myself on the screen. So,
That's incredible.
it's just, it amazes me like how people don't want to take their time and try to get to know you and try to rush you into stuff without even like they try to put me on as a cashier and I can't I'm not good with money. But
I'm exactly the same. My math skills is shocking. I am currently redoing my maths GCSE, I guess to overcome my fear of maths. And but yeah, money. I think I could probably do it, but it's the pace, and it's they expect you to do it there and then, and it's like that's the bit I'm the most worried about is doing the adding up straight away, and then knowing you've got the right money and all these little things that people don't realize, and doing the stacking on shelves. Like you don't know how heavy things are, and because of my scoliosis, which is a curved spine, you know, that can hurt. So it's those little things that people don't seem to understand on a day-to-day basis that we have to deal with.
and another question is, so you recently said that you're living on your own with your boyfriend, and I want to know like how, because a lot of people are interested in knowing like, is it scary or is it fun? Both. I mean,
What, living on your own or
yeah.
with? It's exciting. It's scary. I'm gonna be honest. If it I got told when I was born I was never going to live on my own, that my parents were going to look after me the rest of my life.
Right.
And that's literally what they told me. But I had this drive that both me and my parents wanted to prove people wrong and be like, you can be independent if you have a disability. You know, I truly believe that you, if you're that determined to do something, you will find a way around it. No matter how difficult it's going to be, you'll find it. And if you've got, and it is hard, it is challenging, but it's rewarding at the same time because you're thinking, I'm doing this, I'm doing what I want to do, I'm living independently, I am living away from home. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I've done it. So if anyone out there thinks I can't do it, I've got a disability, get that thought out of your head. You can do it. just might take a little bit of time, especially like if you're nervous about cooking or doing your washing or any, because all these things I've had to practice and practice and practice until I got it. But it just take a little bit of time. But once you're there, that achievement that you feel and that your parents or family feel is the best feeling in the world. Just don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that's challenging for me is, well, Sean pretty much handles all of the bills because he knows that I'm not good with it. The only thing that's challenging for me is laundry because I get things mixed up all the time. So I have to have a chart in front of me to know what goes with what. And I've been like that ever since I was little. And my mom had tried over and over and over again with me. And then she realized, oh, so you're more of a visual person than you are me just telling you. So she had to put a chart when we moved in here, like over the washer and dryer to help me with that. And then sometimes if it gets too confusing, Sean would help me with that. So, and it makes it easier for me to have like something right there. And the same thing for driving. You cannot tell me things without me having to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Did you find cooking challenging?
yes, I did when I was little, but then when I got older, I gotten a lot better at it.
Yeah.
So as long as I follow the instructions, then I can do it. Like for Christmas, I was extremely proud of myself. I made a whole dinner for my mom and for Sean and then the family, and I was like, I finally did it by myself. So it's such a good feeling.
It is. Being that little bit independent. It is a really good feeling. What I find hard actually is following instructions.
Yes.
So, for example, I can cook a really good spag bowl because I memorized it. I know exactly how much you got to put in. But if it's a whole new dish, I'm like, oh my god, it just goes over my head. But that's a skill that I'm trying to learn while living on my own now. But I think it's just understanding certain things when it's written down. But once I get shown, it's like a certain technique that I haven't done before, like crush a garlic. You know, it can be something so simple like that, and it just throws me right off. And then, but once I've been shown once I've been shown, it's there. It stays in, and I've got it. It's just teaching us different ways, same as everybody. We're all different. We all learn in different ways, and it takes people a little bit longer than others.
That's what I always say. It takes me a little bit longer, but I will get there. When I get there, I'm gonna be really happy.
Very happy, you feel conquered, and you feel like you can take on the world.
A lot of people are asking, okay, you live in a house.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't live in apartments at all?
No, I live in I did live in a flat apartment before, but no, I live in a house now.
Well, I've been in apartments now for about 3 years, and Sean and I, we want a house because when I say you can hear everything through these walls, I mean everything. So it kind of annoys me. I mean, like, the difference between a house and an apartment is you don't really have to worry about anything. Like, you can just call maintenance and then they'll be right there to fix. But I personally would rather have my own house because I would feel a lot more safer and more secure if I just have my own place and not have to worry about hearing anything. Because the first time when we moved in here, we heard somebody having a lots of fun. I was like, welcome to your new place.
Very good.
Yeah. So I was like, that's definitely a nice welcoming. And my mom's like cracking up laughing. She's like, oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for you. So,
I can see when I move out. I get it.
I mean, like, I also like having pools too. I mean, we have 2 pools over here. So, I mean, that's really nice too. And then, like, Sean and I, we don't go out on a lot of dates because we have a free park over here. and then we have a free like beach. So we want to stay in this area because we will save up a lot more money if we stay in this area. So it's just I can hear the neighbors stomping right now. Actually, it's very annoying. So I lose track of what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so I kind of want to have my own place, like my own house, because even though parties are easier, I just feel like it would be a lot more easier to have a house because then you don't have to worry about hearing someone.
No, I totally agree. Like I've lived in both now, and yeah, I can see where you're coming from. It can. I mean, I loved living in a flat. But we lived on the top floor, and there was 50 flights of stairs that we had to climb up every day. So that was pretty tough, especially after a shift at work. And I'm like, I was so tired, and I got to climb up all these stairs before I could get up to the top.
We
So
lived on we lived on third floor, so I understood. And then we recently moved downstairs, and I'm like, no, no, my legs cannot take it. We gotta move downstairs. There's just no way. But 57 stairs?
well, 50 flights of stairs, yeah.
No, I would not be able to handle that.
That's why I was so relieved. I was like, yes, thank goodness for that. No more stairs.
Yes, I mean I didn't know. And Sean, he can't drive, so he he rides his bike to work back and forth. So he had to carry for 4 years his bike from the third floor all the way downstairs. He has fallen a couple of times. So and I was like, okay, we really need to have the lower floor because that would make it easier. Because neither of us don't drive right now. And another thing, a lot of people are wondering if you do have your license.
I do, yeah, I am driving. I choose when to drive. For example, I don't like driving in the dark, but I will drive in like a quiet area. So I do, but I'm very careful.
Yeah.
I drive when I feel comfortable, and I drive when I feel like I'm safe to drive. So
Yeah.
what about you?
Um, I haven't had my license, but I'm going for it this year. So Sean's going for his license, and he could probably drive bigger cities. I could probably just drive around town. So that's the difference.
I can drive in a town, but yeah, in a city it's a bit more scary, and you've got like 4 different lanes and 20,000 roundabouts, and I'm like, oh, so I'm very careful when I choose to drive.
And everyone keeps requesting me to do like videos like driving in the car. I'm like, no, I cannot do that. That would scare me too much.
Yeah, same here. I couldn't do that.
I would eat in the car, like have it parked somewhere and eat in the car, but I would not drive it and be filming at the same time. But what's so strange is that my mom recently, well, she passed away, like almost a month now. She brought me this tripod for my bike, and so I can put my phone on there, and I used to do videos like driving, like ride around town with me or something like that. So, I mean, I could do that because you have to hold on to it anyways with the handlebars, so that it's not that scary for me. But for some reason, in a car, it's much scarier.
Yeah, I couldn't do a drive with me video. Not something I could do at the moment. Maybe in a couple of years, but not at the moment.
There's no way. If I do move to where I'm mostly filming, I think my advice to you is to do this too. If you have a restaurant that requires you to dress up like a pirate or something, or like doing ghost tours, for example, you have to be in costume and you have to make people believe that you're telling a story. I mean, you are telling the story of someone who did die, but it gives you a lot of practice. Somebody's asked me this question about advice on jobs, like regular jobs, if you are acting. Make sure that you get a job that you can continue to act even if you're not acting, because to me, I feel like that would help me
Mm,
a lot.
I totally agree.
No, I work at Ghost Tours downtown, and I play Little Girl in the Garden every year. There'd be people just standing by this, not even like going on the ghost tour, and I was scared the living heck out of them. And I'm just standing there, like, just waiting for the next carriage to come around. And at the last time, I missed like probably two carriages because I had surgery, and I had to go to the bathroom like every 5 minutes, and I hated that. And so I was very committed to acting when it came to being a little girl in the garden. So there's this guy who saw me literally coming out of the stairs, and he screamed so loud. He's like, "Oh my God, there's a little girl ghost! No!" And you're talking about like a big marine guy. So it was so funny, but definitely find something that continues with acting, even if it's not like an actual acting job.
Or just go to like a drama class or something.
Yes,
No, I get it. When things are open again, I'll certainly look into it and see what's in my area. Go
yeah.
from
It's definitely a lot of fun, and plus, that's how I met most of my friends. I went from, well, I had a lot of friends, but I only have four friends when I was in high school because it's friends I have known my whole life. And after, when I did a performance, after when I had to tell people about I had a mental breakdown because I was getting bullied a lot. And then a lot of people kept making fun of me about wanting to be an actress, and they always told me, you gotta pick something else, you gotta be realistic. So, and I'm sure you've been told that too, a lot of times.
Oh yes. Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. It's an absolute nightmare, and it you just gotta say it's your dream. I can't shut my dream down. It's just something I want to do, and we can all make it if we put the effort in. We'll get there,
Exactly.
and
And
we shouldn't stop doing something because somebody else thinks it's not realistic. Of course, it's realistic. It wouldn't be on this planet Earth if it wasn't realistic.
it might take you a little bit longer to get there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I believe it's timing. If you've got the right timing or you know the right people,
Exactly.
it can
And
happen.
what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Somebody also asked the question that I had. Yeah. It keeps popping up here, so it will remind me. My fiance set it up for me, which is really cool. Somebody wanted to know, did you ever get bullied when you were in school?
That's a good question. It wasn't. I didn't get bullied. I was quite lucky in that respect, but I certainly got teased. I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between teasing and bullying, but I was a very naive child because of my disability and my learning disability. People took the mick out of that, and they would tell me things that wasn't true, and they would laugh behind my back. And but I did have supportive friends through that, so that but I felt like an outsider. The reason for that is because, again, I'm sorry if I offend anybody. This is my own personal feelings and the way I think. I I didn't feel like I fitted in with able-bodied people. I don't know how else to word it. You know what I mean when I say that? Like, you know, people that don't have a disability. I don't feel like I connect, but at the same time, I don't feel like I connect with people with a disability sometimes because it's invisible.
That's
You know,
exactly how I felt. Like, I can't explain, but that's exactly how I felt.
yeah, I when I try and explain it to family or friends, they just, I don't know, they find it hard to understand because, yeah, I may have a disability, but it's not visible. People, and I don't know where to put myself. I think growing up, I found that really hard to manage. Is
I
knowing that,
I had a and I'm not trying to offend anybody in the 22 community either. So, but I had a pretty traumatized experience when my mom was trying to get me to meet more people that have 22 and stuff. So she would ask me like, "Can you add my friend's son?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." The dude literally wanted me to be his girlfriend, and he would not leave me alone until I said yes. I'm like, I'm not saying yes to something when you know I have a boyfriend. He kept begging me to like break up with Sean. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I was 16 at the time. And then I had to block him. He kept constantly making new Facebook after new Facebook trying to reach out to me. And it was it was a pretty scary experience for me, honestly, because being harassed like that is not good. And then I have told you about the other girl who has explained to Q, who keeps harassing me and bullying me, made a hate account about me. So it's gotten to a point where I'm like, I'm very careful to who I ask. So
yeah, I totally agree.
it was very traumatizing for me. And if my kid ever comes up to me and be like, "Mom, I don't feel comfortable doing this," I'll be like, "Okay, you don't have to." So, because I don't want to add, because like there are 50% chances that, because Sean is autistic, I think he might have 22Q because autism means we don't know what you have kind of thing, and he never really got diagnosed for what he has, but because him and I, we have so much in common and similarities, really crazy. So my mom thinks that he has 22Q as well, and we both agree like there's 50% chances that they're going to have a learning disability, probably, but hopefully no health issues. And then I mean, if they do, it's not a, I just hope that they pull through like how you and me pull through, you know. So the only
Concern.
thing that I'm worried about is like the same thing happening to them and them not realizing like what to do, because I need to tell my mom everything. So, and a lot of people keep asking me like, how should I talk to my kid about this? Get them to feel comfortable talking to you about everything, because I could just tell my mom anything and she would be on it and she would get the person to leave me alone and stuff. So like just try to make them feel comfortable telling you stuff.
No,
So
I totally agree. My mum's exactly the same. Like, if there was an issue or a problem or anything I didn't get, I'd go to her. Also, same with my dad. I'd go if it's something my dad could do, I'd go to him. Or if it's something Nick could do, my boyfriend, I'd go to him. So you just got to make the child feel comfortable enough to come to you. Don't overreact either.
yes.
Ever, ever, ever. Uh, Even if you have to overreact in your head or go to another room and shut the door and react, don't overreact because it will make them feel like they're being told off.
Yes, and I remember trying to tell certain family members what was going on, and they weren't quite understanding what was going on, and didn't seem to care. So because like my family and I, we're not that close, but we are close, and I feel like they don't understand me very well. And since my mom died, everyone's trying to get to understand me. Be honest with you, it's kind of really weird. So, because I'm like, I'm not used to that, and I'm not used to them being around me so much. Because like my mom, there something bad happened in the family to where the whole family drift off, kind of. Um, but to me, like having a disability and being on my own, and then having my family now actually helping me, and my dad, who I have not spoken into in years, all of a sudden he's talking to me now. So it's kind of awkward, and it's just it's like how can I go about like I'm independent. The only thing I need help with is money issue, but that's it. So and it's really weird to explain to them because like a lot of them I have friends who live in group homes and stuff, and then they're talking about like a group home, not to me, but a few of my other friends. But like, I guess it's their choice. So, have you ever been told that you should go into a group home too?
Until what, sorry?
A group home is like for people who have disabilities.
So they go to another home and get
Yeah.
get looked after. No, not really. I mean, I was just going to live with my parents, or they would build an extension in the house, and I would be independent, but with them close by. So they never thought in a million years I would be moving an hour away from home in a city, somewhere I've never been before.
Right.
Doing, I mean, I still need help. I still need guidance, and I ring my mum like 20 times a day because there's certain things I'm still struggling with, but I'm just sort of still figuring things out and making sure I do everything right. So yeah, no, I was gonna just stay at home and be with them. That's what they were told anyway.
Lucky
But
for me, I have never been told, oh, you need to be put in a group home. So, because I was always told, oh, she's very independent and stuff like that. And my uncle was recently telling me that he was very proud of me how I've been handling the situation and what's been going on because he was extremely worried about me and stuff and everything. And then, um, like Sean and I, we were planning on moving in with my mom. So, because she was having health issues, or she was planning moving in with us, because she had told me that a house was like too much work, and then I told her, I'm like, well, when Sean and I buy a house, why don't you just move in with us and just sell the house and make it easier for you, so that way you have two people not only looking out for you, you don't have to pay anything. And that's what we were planning on doing next year, but um, unfortunately that didn't happen. So but it's really hard, especially when you have a disability and your mom's not here, and now you have to remember everything your mom has said about you, and have to remember the medical issues and stuff like that. I mean, I haven't had medical issues in years, so I've been. They're stomping again.
pardon?
The neighbors are like stomping again.
Oh no.
It's really getting on my last nerves right now.
Oh no.
I mean, you could.
They're
I don't
starting
know if
again.
you can hear it.
I don't think I want to.
No, 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 no. They're just stomping. They're like being, like stomping. No, it's Sean. He used to every time when the neighbors had fun time, and we were like on a third floor. um, YouTube code. But every time when we were like on the third floor, this idiot. Every time when he heard them having fun, he would literally stomp because like they would shake the house. And my fiance, he was literally stomp on the floor and having fun with it, messing with them. No.
Oh gosh.
And then when we moved to the lower floor, he's like, I hear fun time. He's like, I'm gonna stomp. I'm like, they can't hear you, idiot. You're not on the top floor. No. He's like, dang it, I forgot. No. But yeah, we had a lot. I do not know if it's like this for you and your boyfriend, but we had a lot of people who didn't take us seriously as a couple.
Um, I never really had that issue. I guess. I mean, it's we had a couple of incidents where a random person that we've never met before would accuse Nick of being my father because of how young I look and because much older he is compared to me. And we're only 5 year age gap. I'm 23 and he's 28. And but because he's 6'3" and I'm 4'11",
Right.
it was quite dark.
It's
And
really awkward when they do that, isn't it?
he had to put his arm around me and be like, "This is my girlfriend," and he'd be like, Oh, sorry. It's just so it's so awkward. So yeah, it's not necessarily been taken. We've never had that issue, but we've certainly had people think wrong things that they shouldn't be thinking.
One time, Sean and I, we came home. It was really, really late, and we went to a party that one of our friends invited us to. It's a bomb party, so like basically there's just a fire, and then you roast marshmallows and have s'mores and hot dogs. So I call that a party. So we've been doing that since we were 16, all my friends and I. So we do that every year, and it's really weird having kids around when you're doing the bonfire because I'm like, I'm not used to this yet. So, and then we came home really late, and then there's this guy that was staring at us, and then Sean was staring at him. He's like, "You got a problem?" He's like, "No, you got a problem." He's like, "Dude, you're the one staring at me." So then the next thing we know, he was right behind us. He's like, "I don't like what I see," and he's like, "What do you mean? You're dating a minor?" I'm like, and he literally grabbed him by the collar and was about to beat Sean up. I had to show him my ID.
Why do that's a bit I don't like, right? It's because of how young we look. People assume that we're 16 or something. I went into a club in my hometown. I was 21, something like that. And a security bouncer spoke to my boyfriend and was like, "She can't be in here," and pointed at me. And Nick went, "Why not?" And he went, "Because she's underage." And Nick went, "Why would you think that? You can't just assume that someone's underage just because you think they look." And anyway, Nick said, "Do you want me to get her over here and she can show you her ID?" And he went, "No, it's fine. I believe you." And I was like, and when Nick told me, I was like, that annoyed me because if he'd have come up to me and said, "Excuse me, miss, can I just see your ID, please?" No problem. I get that all the time. But it's the fact that my boyfriend, she's not allowed in. She's underage. And I'm like,
Exactly. That's exactly. That happened to me on my 21st birthday, actually.
oh, that's the worst.
Because my mom promised me for a year. She's like, as soon as you turn 21, I'm going to take you to that club and you can, like, throw money at them. So
is it 21, though, that is when it's legal to drink in America?
Yeah, 21. I don't drink because I don't like alcohol because I accidentally mistaken one of my mom's drink for Coke and it wasn't Coke. So I've never developed a taste for alcohol ever since I was little, which is a good thing. Plus, I have drunks in the family and I have seen what it has done to them with alcohol. So I've been too scared to touch it. Like Sean, he will have a drink here and there, like on his birthday or on the holidays. But other than that, he doesn't drink because the same thing for him. He has family members that are alcoholics. So, and I mean, things have gotten better now than they were before, but we were at the club and this guy was like, "Ma'am, you can't be in here. We're not allowed to have kids." I was like, "How old do you think I am?" He said, 10. I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, okay, then you're 12. I'm like, "No." He's like, 8. I'm like, "Do I look 8 years old?"
I get that all the time. That's why I'm laughing, because I've experienced the exact same thing.
And I was like, "Here's my ID." He's like, "Holy cow, kid, you look good for your age." He's like, "I'm so sorry, free drinks on me."
I'm gonna laugh when I'm 50 and I look about 20, and then I'll be like, "Ha! Who's laughing now? You all look about 90 plus," and then there's me like still looking 20.
My friends call me because, like, my mom, even though she was like in her 60s, she looked like she was in her 30s. She had a lot of guys that were my age hitting on her. And then when she tried to tell them, "Oh, my daughter's your age," they look at me like, "No, she's not." I'm like, my mom got hit on more than I did. Meanwhile, I get hit on by middle school boys
Oh,
more, more than anything. And it's so annoying. Like, I had this one kid who was like, hey, and I was like, hey, and then, because he saw I was a cheerleader for my college, so I've been a cheerleader since I was in middle school. And then he's like, so you do cheerleading? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm a football player. Can I have your number? I'm like, no, you cannot. Because I was teaching someone who had a disability who went to the same school that I went to, because I was trying to teach her some tricks that I learned. So I'm not flexible, but I can make myself look flexible. You get what I'm saying? So, and I had to teach her a bunch of tricks and stuff, and they're trying to hit on me, and my mom was like just cracking up laughing. I'm like, no. So. He's really awkward because I get hit on more by middle schoolers and guys my own age, and Sean's like, I have no problem with that. So, a lot of people.
We're gonna love it when we're like both in our 60s or 70s, and we look about 40 and getting hit on by 40-year-old men.
And I'm like, Sean, on the plus side, when you die, and these 40-year-old men, I would legit was just talking to him about this a couple weeks ago. I would be legal to even date them. He's like, no, you would not. He said, that's till us part. So,
I mean, obviously, we're both taken, so we can't really do that. But if he was single,
that's different.
That'd be good.
Because like he told me, he's like, you know that I'm Philippine, so I most likely would die before you. I'm like, then that's great, because then I can date these 40-year-old men. He's like, you're terrible.
I love
I'm always so mean to him. Like, I don't know why he puts up with me, but he puts up with me.
Stay here.
But he's so loving, caring. He's like, I would never cheat on you. I never do this and that. He's like, and you need to tell me when I'm dead. You would date a 4-year-old? I'm like, yeah.
How does he put up with you?
I don't know. But we've been together technically 8th grade going on 9th grade, so for 9 years going on 10. But we had to break up because a lot of people were saying a lot of mean stuff to us and calling us the Ard couple. But now those people that call us that name are no longer together. And have like no dis. Again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but they have 5 kids, and they made fun of us, and they're still shocked that we're still together. So, and then another thing about kids is that like a lot of my friends have oh, we have 1 minute remaining. I did not know there's a timing here. But yeah. So, like I said before, like I have a bunch of friends that have kids, and sometimes I feel pressure into having kids, but not pressure at the same time because I know I'm not ready for it. So.
Yeah, I get you. Shall we say goodbye before the 1 minute?
Yeah. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks for talking to you all.
Bye.
Bye.